Well, radical Dems gearing up to challenge President Trump in 2019 any which way they can. House Dems looking to hire new staff ahead of likely investigations into the president. The House Judiciary Committee posting a job listing for lawyers with experience in constitutional and immigration law, and the House and Oversight and Government Reform Committee posting an opening for a, quote, executive branch investigative counsel. The Alabama Attorney General is investigating whether a left-wing disinformation campaign against former Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore violated campaign finance law. Left-wing operatives tried to tie Russia to Moore campaign by creating thousands of fake Russian bots that followed Moore's Twitter account. LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, a billionaire, apologized for pumping $750,000 of his own dollars into this disinformation campaign. Joining me now to talk about this and other things, Daily Caller News Foundation editor-in-chief Christopher Bedford. Christopher, great to see you. First of all, let's talk about all the lawyering up that's going on in the right place for it, Washington, D.C. There are more lawyers per capita there than any place in the world. Is it just going to be investigations from wall to wall? Is that all we're going to see in 2019?
I expect that because that's the best use of the House of Representatives' power. If Democrats don't control the U.S. Senate and they don't control the executive, their best bet is to pick at the president as much as they can and attack his nominees as much as they can and see what they can do to slow down his government. And this is something that Democrats have always been really smart about. And unfortunately for conservatives, they have not been that smart about, which is staff is your brain power, your ability to govern. Every single semester we hear about conservative congressmen returning money from their offices to the Treasury instead of hiring lawyers and hiring good staff and paying right people who can help them enact their agenda. Democrats do not do that. They hire smart people, and that allows their members to be more effective against the opposition.
Well, they swim in that water better. That's their breeding ground, if you will. I mean, that's why I remember Ted Kennedy had even the most hardened conservative. There was a conservative Republican named Gordon Humphrey from New Hampshire, a senator who admired Senator Kennedy's staff. He kept saying, "How do you do it?" I mean, it's just because that's the air that they breathe.
They do very well. They're more comfortable with it. Conservatives think that returning money to the Treasury will help,
right,
but it usually doesn't. What would help them is to have strong staffing like the Democrats, who are much better at the swamp creature politics, do.
Well, the other thing other than investigating President Trump that they could be doing is creating these new committees. And in fact, Nancy Pelosi just announced the head of one of those new committees, which will be the subcommittee to study climate crisis. It's not just climate change. Now she calls it climate crisis, because when you use the word crisis inside the Beltway, that gives you a license to take even more of our money, right?
It does, and it will, and that's exactly kind of what they're trying to do. But also what Pelosi's trying to do here is head off a challenge from the left. The new left that's coming to the Democratic Party, they want to pass a new Green Deal. They want sweeping government reforms, and they want to do what the end goal of any serious environmentalist is, which is massive government takeover of private industry. And Nancy Pelosi's trying to head that off, but also still be elected Speaker of the Democratic Caucus. So what she's doing here is she's putting together this committee to study it and to look at it, and it's not fooling the hard left at all. Ocasio-Cortez's spokesman has already released a statement saying this is like putting a screen door on a submarine. It's not going to work at all.
But they're going to take advantage of it. And what concerns me is that there's still enough rhinos left in Congress, these moderate, so-called moderate Republicans, who can be coaxed in to working with Democrats because it's for the good of mankind, you know, and that might, if there is a deal to be made, perhaps even one that's veto-proof by the president, they might just succeed in making it.
Every term, you'll see liberal Republicans putting forward some kind of new massive tax scheme or some kind of new massive regulatory scheme because they've been convinced by paranoia. Of course, there's always a bunch of conservative Republicans who push back on that, but they've gotten very, very close to doing this. They almost got George W. Bush's administration to pass a carbon tax.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Vice President Cheney's office was able to derail that for if you're against this kind of thing, but it's always on the horizon.
Let me talk now about this dirty tricks campaign that was used against Roy Moore in Alabama in the Senate race. Could have cost him the election. Reid Hoffman, who I mentioned is a billionaire, he's the co-founder of LinkedIn. He admits he paid $750,000 to an organization that then hired another organization to do the dirty work. What they did was trying to associate Roy Moore with Russians, knowing that would scare a lot of voters. And apparently it worked up to a certain extent. I'm wondering if there's concern that there are other campaigns that we don't know about yet in which the same tactic was used.
I'm always skeptical on how much impact a Facebook page or a Twitter bot has on the actual average voter, whether it's in Alabama or Massachusetts or really anywhere. I think that it's sometimes being played up, and it just shows you how much the Democrats play it up, that they would invent Russian bots to follow an Alabama Senate candidate, as if a lot of those people are really freaked out about Russians. But to your point, of course it's happening. Misinformation campaigns are in every single election, whether it's presidential, Senate, House of Representatives, and anyone who's an American businessman who's financing this should be held accountable for their hypocrisy and should be investigated to see if they actually broke the law.
Well, to Reid Hoffman's defense, he did come out and apologize, said, I made a mistake. I would never have done this if I knew where the money was going. And again, it was another organization that was hired, subcontracted by the original one that he gave money to. But the Attorney General of Alabama is investigating. Do you think he'll have any case at all?
It's hard to say at this point if he'll have any case. There are certainly people, if you're intentionally tricking voters, then you're getting into some serious territory. But it's unlikely that that would be traced back to donors who may not have known unless it can be proven that they actually knew.
Yeah. Christopher Bedford. Good to see you, Christopher. Thank you very much for being here.